Oh. Saw it live for a split second. Ah, there it is. Hey.
Yeah.
And I would just Alt-Tab and maximize it. Oh, that's right, you can drag to the top, huh?
Alright, let's...
Man, that's a Windows feature I don't ever use anymore.
Okay, let's do this thing.
Alright. Then, without further ado... Chapter 32. They didn't see me. That was a good thing, because there was no way I could kill them quickly with a shotgun or a pistol. It would take multiple shots to destroy them, and at this range, long before that happened, they'd fry me with their lightning balls. I could forget about rockets, unless I had a burning desire to be a burning ward poster boy. They seemed to find time to give the big freaking gun, call it a BFG. Okay, so suspicions confirmed it's not a plasma rifle, it's actually a BFG.
It's actually real
a shot. Yeah,
biffage.
Oh man, I can't wait till we can explain that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure people can figure it out.
I mean the context of biffage.
Oh, yeah, that does need some explaining.
Just kind of here and there, it's been dropped, and all good fun. It's a stupid pronunciation of BFG, but why? From where? Yeah. Taking a deep breath, I raised this fine piece of Union Aerospace Corporation craftsmanship and pointed it at the nearest oblivious target. There was no obvious trigger mechanism, so I squeezed the hand grip. There was no kick at all. Instead, I heard a loud whine of energy. The pumpkins heard it also and started rotating. Nothing had come out of the muzzle of the weapon yet. I had just about decided I'd made a big freaking mistake when a green ball of energy exploded from the sealed mouth of the gun. The light was so bright it seared my eyes. The pumpkins screamed and popped like balloons, leaving nothing but smoking blue and orange shreds. But my troubles were not over. I wasn't back home with my feet up. A horde of zombies poured out of the cubby holes that were like eyes stretched up and down both corridors. Funny how I hadn't noticed them all until trouble came out. Until trouble came out. Weird. Exhaustion was taking its toll and making me lose my edge. I'd already dropped to my belly when I heard the unmistakable clatter of machine gun bullets ripping over my head. Who the hell was shooting now? The attack came from behind. I was tired of attacks coming from behind. Rolling to the side, staying low, and it was really hard to roll with a BFG, even if it is light.
Yeah, I hadn't even considered.
It's got a backpack too. Oh man, he was just talking about enrolling for the Ghostbusters too. Now he's got his own ghost-busting cannon.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, he found it. The proton pack, but you know, a little bit more overkill. Sorry, I'm trying to buy time while I like itch and rub my eye because it's suddenly become irritated.
That's fine.
So I've gotta keep the content rolling, man. I can't just be quiet and disappear. Rolling to the side, staying low, I fired off another BFG blast down the corridor to the left. The results were good. A large bunch of fried zombies. I was ready to institute a firm gun control policy for all undead. I would firmly control my BFG as I fired it. Leaping down from the pumpkin platform, I bolted along the corridor to the left, ducking into a cubbyhole myself. Old rule. When a bad guy comes out of a hole, he's not there anymore. I laid down the BFG and unslung my trusty shotgun, then poked my nose out of the cubbyhole again. It seemed like a good idea at the time. A stream of bullets came out of nowhere and I ducked back in. And at last I figured out what the hell was happening. It was Arlene! She must be firing across the hidden teleport pad, and her bullets were being teleported to where I had first emerged. No wonder the zombies were confused.
But hold
Wait,
on.
what?
Did the bullets...
No, this isn't...
Did the bullets lose their clothes?
No. He teleported with the BFG this time. This teleporter doesn't steal your stuff.
Alright. darn.
But what's confusing to me is that this isn't Duke Nukem. It doesn't work like that. That or they found the one out-of-place Duke Nukem teleporter in space. That, you know what that must be, because it doesn't take your clothes when you teleport in it.
Well,
Oh man, okay. Well, and also it's extremely fast and makes you sick. So,
Alright.
clearly different technology at work here.
okay.
Alright, so they found a Duke teleporter and you can shoot through it. A stream of... yes. No wonder the zombies were confused. This was enough to confuse someone with a functional brain. She was doing just as good a job of mowing them down as if she'd been present and accounted for. Encouraged, I helped out and shot the ones who ran past my cubbyhole, hunting for an enemy. So, specters weren't the only ones who could play this game. Of course, the zombies got mad and started shooting each other. They were all dead by the time Marlene joined me. She hopped off the pad and I filled her in. Then we returned to the end of the corridor where I had hidden. I'd seen a door awaiting our attention. There was no special key required to open this one. Of course not. A hell prince waited for us on the other side. It had a blue keycard in its mouth. We took it after making a fair trade. He got a whole bunch of rockets. I'm sure the Minotaur appreciated our generosity. Returning to the mouth of the corridor, we picked up Rich. We hadn't forgotten him. Rich never seemed to regret missing out on our repeated exterminations, although he acquitted himself admirably when we backed into a corner. The perfect civilian. He'd have done well at Lexington and Concord, provided there wasn't a lot of running involved. The three of us trucked back across the courtyard to the locked door, and none of us was the least surprised when the key unlocked it. Inside was a single ornate teleport pad. We blinked into existence in a vast room, a huge open pit with a narrow catwalk running around the periphery. Our eyes watered from mist in the air. The place stank of boiled rock and the walls were the color of dried blood, and everywhere was the stench of sour lemons.
No! Not the lemons! Oh! They're in my eyes! My eyes!
So you know you're truly in the 13th ring of hell, is that it smells like sour lemons.
That's the power of Pine Sol.
Yeah, this is it, Rich said, suddenly excited. This is the place where the the spider, the mastermind, interrogated me. I'd been getting to the point of dismissing any differences in the hellish architecture. All the chambers seemed more and more identical, but they'd never tortured me, stringing me up to hang halfway between life and death. There was no doubting Rich's memory after what he'd been through. We heard a cacophony from below, as if a monster convention was being held under our noses. We dropped on our bellies, hugging the catwalk, and listened. I heard roaring, grunting, screaming, wheezing, howling, snuffling, and even a weird piping or whistling. Heavy thumping and thudding left no doubt that some of the big guys were down there. Didn't hear a steam demon, though. That was the only good news. If you want to see the spider mastermind, now's your chance, Rich whispered. Isn't it special invitation only? Arlene asked. I can't help it, I whispered. I'm a born gate crasher.
No, you're a born lever puller.
Lever puller. God.
Come on, get your story straight, Flynn.
Look, the truth is out there, man.
Oh, jeez.
She crawled to the edge. Pumpkins, hell princes, those crazy flying skulls. Did we ever get around to naming them? Arlene looked at me with a strange expression, as if I'd just missed something. Gee, how about flying skulls? Any objections? Shaking my head, I couldn't help but notice Hitch's expression. Wait, Hitch? Okay.
Did they misspell Rich?
Yes, they did.
Oh, David Abhuse.
That or Flint has some joke that we're all missing out on.
I just gave the zombie man with a shotgun. That's effed. That can't happen. What are they doing?
Oh, man.
Go on.
Oh yeah, what the heck? I see him right there. Holy heck. Okay.
That ain't right.
Yeah. Shaking my head, I couldn't help but notice Rich's expression. He probably thought our little name game the pinnacle of insanity, and Rich had a gift for it himself. He'd called our steam demon a... Oh my god!
Oh, jeez.
You're kidding me!
Don't tell me.
No, guess. Guess what Rich called the steam demon, cyber demon thing.
He didn't call it the cyber demon?
No, he called it a cyber something, but he didn't call it a cyber demon. What do you think he called it?
A cyber behemoth.
He'd called our steam demon a cyber dude.
What an idiot.
Rich, you're fired. You're the worst.
Get back in your spider cocoon.
Yeah, we're just gonna put you back there. Oh, God. And fuck, I can't stop looking at that word.
Cyber dude?
Cyber dude.
Oh, man.
Like, all they have to do is switch the first of those and everything would be fine. A steam dude or a cyber demon. Come on.
I died.
Well, it happens. Spider-Mind turned out to be a perfect description for the thing that chose that moment to make a big entrance. It was worse than all the rest. If I'd found the steam demon disgusting with its mixture of organic and mechanical, this completely alien... I think my book might be a little effed here. Do you mind taking a look here?
Alright, sure. Where'd I put it? What, do you have a rough estimate of what page we're on?
Page 141?
No.
Okay.
That's not gonna... what was the last thing you read?
It was worse than all the rest. You know what? Just look for Cyber Dude.
Right.
In quotes. Chapter 32, so...
Okay. Gee, how about flying skulls, steam demon, scuttling, teeth, its appearance, Gatling gun, Vulcan cannon...
No. Go back up. If I'd found the steam demon disgusting with its mixture of organic and mechanical...
This completely alien scuttling across the floor down below... Do you not have, like, italic text?
Yeah, there's no italic text.
That might be it.
That's what's throwing me off here, okay.
This completely alien
Yeah.
in italics.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I wonder if that's what that double spacing before some words is.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I have a new punctuation key for this, I guess. Anywhom. This completely... just the way it read, it seemed like it was wrong.
If there were no italics, that would probably be strange.
Yeah. This completely alien scuttling across the floor down below completely turned my stomach. Numerous mechanical legs supported a dome housing a gigantic gray pulsing brain with a hideous ersatz face formed in the center of the squishy gray matter itself, complete with eyes and teeth. It should have been funny, almost a cartoon, but there was nothing remotely humorous about the living incarnation of a night. Its appearance was so unnerving that one could easily neglect taking inventory of the most important thing, its weapons. Even from this awkward angle, it was easy to see that it came equipped with what looked like an ultra-speed Gatling gun, like a Vulcan cannon. There was little doubt that up close, there'd be other unpleasant surprises. Listen, I hissed. Suppose we can take this Spider-Mind thing. We'd throw a monkey wrench into the invasion plans right here and now. I could run along the catwalk, drop down in front of the creature, and fry it with my new toy. Too dangerous, Arlene said. It would get you with its machine guns before you got close enough to try, Rich added. These were extremely good points, I had to admit. Rethinking the idea, I realized that even if I succeeded, I would be ripped to shreds by the throng of monsters surrounding the boss. Rich seemed to be reading my thoughts when he said, "We should kill some of the other creatures so the Spider-Mind won't have as much backup. Maybe this guy could make an honorary Marine after all." Creeping along the catwalk rim, peeking over the edge, We made slow progress. While finding a more advantageous position, Rich sneezed. I think he was allergic to monsters. The element of surprise blown, it was time to open fire and blow them away.
Really?
Yeah, he fucking sneezed.
The blue's covered by sneezing. Wow.
Good job, Rich.
Thanks, Bill.
More like Richard. Urgh.
Yeah. You're no William Gates.
No,
that was
sorry.
a character.
Thanks, Hitch.
Yeah, Hitch.
Hitch.
What an idiot.
I can think of another letter you put in front of there for you.
Yeah, like Stitch.
Lich.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, anyways. The reward for paying attention. Arlene and I worked through the rockets we'd scavenged from the steam demon chamber. Good distance and angle to use those little darlings. There had been so much noise already that plenty of the monsters farther away still hadn't noticed what was going on. They were partying down. Our primary goal was to keep the spider mind from noticing as long as inhumanly possible, so we never shot a rocket in its direction. We still had a lot of unanswered questions. How well did the brain hear? And were other creatures supposed to report back? And were they in constant communication by radio or telepathy? We continued the slaughter. Rich was proving himself useful again, this time with his sig cow. Finally, the general run of monsters noticed that something was amiss. Some became agitated and began to run about, their roars more thoughtful, attuned to the condition of the general community. Communication, obviously. A few even attempted to apply what mentality they had to investigate the mysterious deaths of their comrades. Alas, the spider mind lived up to its name. It detected the trouble and began stomping around, trying to identify the source. But my respect for that great quantity of gray matter declined somewhat as the damned thing got frustrated and started blasting away at random, killing its troops. Rich crept over and offered more analysis. Corporal Taggart, call me Fly. Well, Fly, I've been thinking that amount of energy required to actually move Deimos through hyperspace would be monumental. Oh my god, Rich, this isn't the time! There's no way they could have snuck such a huge power generator onto Deimos through those fairly small gates. We're talking many terawatts. Thousands of Hoover dams worth of power. Makes sense, I said. Arlene nodded while continuing to hold down the fort. The most likely explanation is that the power is coming from an external source, he said, and they're beaming it in somehow.
What?
Rich? That makes sense. What the fuck? No, sorry. I'm just kind of blown away here, because... Yeah, that would make... That would be a lot more efficient, actually. What the okay. I'll give that one to you, book. Wow. Okay. Sorry. Rich, Arlene said. Are you saying cut the power and end the invasion? For the first time since seeing the spawning vats, I began to think we might really have a chance. So long as they had power, they could produce an endless number of monsters in their damn cauldrons. It was time to cancel their service. Chapter 33. Arlene pointed at a central building, a small pillbox structure right in the center of the monster convention. In all the chaos, none of the creatures had gotten anywhere near this pillbox, as if they deliberately avoided it. Could that be the power receiver? She asked. Rich shrugged. I don't know, but it seems like the best possibility. That possibility did as much for our morale as if we'd each been given a blue face sphere. The spider mind continued firing until many of the other creatures, its own troops, were killed or driven off. It was now or never. I jumped first, feeling as if I could fly. Arlene followed and I turned to help, but she didn't need a hand. We both had to help Rich, who wasn't exactly constructed for flight. The three of us made a dash for the central building. Monster corpses presented a major obstacle, but we quickly turned grateful for the thick-limbed, heavy bodies all over the floor. The spider mind noticed us and opened fire with its 30mm Vulcans. Oh, that's plural. He's got more than one. Ouch.
This guy's packing.
Yeah. Dude, a spider mastermind with 2 guns?
Did you know that the spider mastermind's attack actually calls the shotgun guy's attack, but in rapid succession? So each thing it's firing is actually a shotgun blast.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
That's where they were inspired for the minigun in TF2.
Is that right?
Yeah, well that's how the minigun works, is that it fires, it doesn't really fire all that quickly, but every shot is like 12 bullets.
Okay.
So it's like 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, rather than actually firing that many rounds.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We hit the deck and used the bodies for cover. The incredible creature charged us, firing maybe 300 rounds a minute, 5 rounds a second. In a few moments, it would be upon us, firing so rapidly we'd never be able to return fire. Suddenly, the firing stopped. The spider mind was tangled up in the bodies it had helped produce.
Oh my god, what an idiot.
He really is.
How did this thing mastermind an invasion? Come on.
Oh god. Clearly, I don't think it did.
Yeah, it was just a fluke. It just
you know what?
happened by accident.
It was a fluke. I have a theory, but I'm going to save it for later.
Okay.
The mechanical spider legs were not designed for an obstacle course. Run, I shouted, heading for the building. A quick glance at the location of the Spider-Man told me what I needed to know. The angles were perfect. Get between the Spider-Mind and the building. Move! I bolted hutward and immediately sprawled gracefully over the prone body of a steam demon. A steam demon! My heart leapt up in my throat. Then I realized the damned thing was under bloody construction. Great. And me without my monkey wrench. The gigantic monster lay on its belly, face into the deck. The missiles were exposed, and as bullets flew haphazardly over my head, I swallowed hard. A couple of good shots might detonate the warheads on those puppies. Or, if the warheads weren't yet attached, the fuel cells could rupture and spray us with a caustic and flammable rocket fuel. Very adroit, Mr. Leslie, snapped Arlene, yanking me to my feet. We made tracks. We had crossed perhaps a third of the open territory when a wave of horror struck me like a physical hammer blow. Nightmarish images of Degas, Bosch, Patrick, Woodruff. Blood dripping from the walls and ceiling, sprays of blood in the distance. Blood from overhead sprinklers. It probed, trying to find a weak spot. My father lurched out of the building, grinning and slapping his body.
What?
Me heap me big chief Kamehameha! He shouted, and then gave a Tarzan yell.
Was that Dragon Ball Z? What? Hello?
Yeah, he said, me heap big chief Kamehameha. Yeah. Well.
At this juncture, I'd like to add, the truth is out there.
Alright, okay, Stephen King. I know this is one of your secret books now. You're the only person I've read who puts stupid, bizarre thoughts into his characters and then goes on tangents with them for like half of a fucking chapter.
Stephen King's secret nom de plume is David Ab Hughes.
This was Stephen King's, this was his fanfic of Doom. He somehow got it published.
Oh, nice.
Oof. Alright. Sorry, I really do like Stephen King, but goddamn if it doesn't make me think of his writing style. Right here, right now.
Well,
okay.
You know, the truth is out there.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Fuck. Oh. He humiliated me all over again, as he had 20 years earlier. We'd been in Hawaii in a museum before a life-size, huge, statue of Hawaii's greatest king. I shrank away from him, praying to God no one knew he was my father. But he followed me, saying, "Did you see what I did? Watch!" And he did it again. I was never more ashamed of him in my life. We were lucky to make it out of the museum alive, but god damn it, he was not going to stop me reaching that building. I pushed on, tuning out the spider mind. Then I saw myself brought up on charges again, but this time I was tried and convicted, and they ripped the stripes off my sleeve like, what was it? That old television show, two-dimensional, branded, something like that? They tore off my sharpshooter's medal, my ribbons, finally the eagle and globe that told the world I was a Marine. But I gritted my teeth, and through my tears, I told myself that I knew I was a Marine, no matter what, and Arlene would never let me forget it, even if I tried. My feet never stopped. God knows what horrors it sent into Arlene and Rich. Their faces were white, grim, but determined. The monstrosity realized it didn't have our number psychologically and tried the more direct route. It opened fire, but it was off balance, picking its way through the bodies, and the whole contraption tumbled over. Oh my god, it fucking fell over. This is the most pathetic display of a final boss ever.
I think maybe that's the point, because it's so easy as a final boss.
Oh, you know what? That's... Oh my god, it's genius! Oh my god! I can't believe it!
Woo!
I've been rused! Oh!
Thanks, Stephen
He
King.
knew exactly what he was doing when he wrote this! I don't even know how to respond! Holy moly! Oh. I've been kerfuffled!
Well,
Oh! Although I do like the image of the spider mastermind kind of doing a herder walk like revenants. Oh man. Oh jeez.
oh boy. What a day.
I don't know how I feel about the Doom novel right now. What is this strange turn of events?
I don't know, man.
Okay, look, you know what? I'll put this out right now. If the next two books are like this right now, then I'll concede. I like the Doom books. Like, unironically.
I am so excited to see where the third and fourth
Yeah.
books go. Just because they're out of Doom at that point. They just gotta make stuff
Right?
up.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, because New Doom wasn't out yet. And what do you do? And it's not like they can do Doom 3 because, well, that was a reboot of Doom 1.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay. This gave us the time to get into position. Just as we got behind the building, the spider mind freed itself, stood up straight on mechanical legs, swiveled the weaponry into position, and started firing. Oh god, I've got hiccups. And it even says, a few quick burps of gunfire probed our way.
Nice.
Then it abruptly choked off, and there was silence. What happened? Rich asked. It's like it stopped automatically, Arlene said. It can't shoot us without shooting the building, I realized. The guns were clearly cut off by a circuit breaker. No, Flint, that's not... You know what, never mind. We had to get inside, but the spider mind lived up to its name. The thing scuttled quickly to the side, trying for a better angle and a clear shot. We kept moving, dancing around the pillbox in a tightening spiral, always keeping ourselves between the spider mind and the building. It was like playing some kind of children's game, only this playground was the killing field. Then we had a new problem. The other monsters had been considerate enough to stay away, but now the noise attracted them back into the fray. A random sampling of fireballs, ball lightning, and even the Hell Prince's green fire creased our bow. Under the circumstances, it would have been rude not to respond. We fired back while we kept running from the spider mind. One rocket left, I yelled as I fired the penultimate one at the Minotaur, or at a Minotaur. I slung the launcher, never know when a weapon might come in handy. But Arlene must have figured there'd be no more rainy days. She blew through her AB-10 ammo and dropped the pistol without a second glance, not wanting anything to slow her down. Bill Rich fired his Sig Cow at the Spinies, and actually dropped one. Despite his bulk, he'd managed to keep up with us, although his heavy breathing was cause for worry. I hoped he wouldn't have a heart attack. We still needed him. I wasn't being callous in thinking this. The mission was all important. God, did I actually think that? I guess I did. Arlene had converted me, and I didn't even know when she managed it. My goal had shifted from rescuing her to fighting the last battle as the last Marine. I blew the door off its hinges with a point-blank shotgun blast. One of the Spinies didn't approve of my housebreaking. It dive-bombed me and flung a ball of burning mucus that just missed. Just missed me, that is. Arlene took it out, but then I glanced over at Rich and saw that the imp had done him serious damage. Rich had taken a face full of the poison and was coughing up his guts. Holding the door open with my back, I racked and fired as fast as I could. Arlene dragged Rich inside. Vindication! The room was full of electronic gear, cables, databanks. While Arlene did what she could for Rich, I damned little under the circumstances. I stood guard on all 4 doors, shooting anything that ventured close. Or ventured dose, according to the book.
Cool. Naturally, the monsters couldn't fire back. I enjoyed the situation until one of the imps flung a spitwad and hit the door frame, missing me by a hand's breadth. One moment in the history of the universe, the Spider-Mind and yours truly shared the same opinion. The imp's action was ill-considered in the extreme. The Spider-Mind proved it was no dummy. It blew the imp to cutlets. I drifted from the doorway to another doorway, and nothing shot at me. However, every time I passed within the line of sight of the Spider-Mind, I caught another face full of hypnagogic horror. It was the only weapon the critter had left. In a way, you had to feel sorry for it. Well, maybe not. "How's it going?" I asked Arlene, already knowing the answer. She shook her head. Rich was in a lot worse shock than when we first found him. The flaming goo had stuck to his face, catching him just as he inhaled. His lungs were fried. He could no longer transport oxygen to his blood. I didn't know what we were going to do. Maybe a hospital could save him. We didn't even have any bandages or painkiller. The skin of his face was angry red, and it was bleeding in a dozen spots where enough layers of epidermis had burned away. He must have been in agony, and Rich knew it was hopeless. For him, at least. He was a smart man. Bill was dying. No, it's just like Left 4 Dead all over again, Bill!
But before Left 4 Dead. Bill, no! Arlene propped him against a wall and whispered in his ear. He nodded, making the coughing worse. But she wiped his eyes, and he could see well enough to help us. In a weak voice, he began identifying critical components within the room. He remembered everything from when they forced him to work on the mess. He told us what we needed to know. Arlene left him propped against the wall and came to me. In a low voice, she said, "I wish we had one of those blue spheres right now." Oh, I hadn't even made the... Oh my god. Is that what's happening when you go into blue sphere zone? He's like a red sphere. Oh my god. Oh. Do you know how they make blue spheres? They pull people into the red spheres.
Oh jeez.
Yep. Surprise, blue spheres are actually people. That's why it's a face.
Oh boy.
It's somebody who touched a red sphere, and then you steal all their life energy.
So when the little sphere planet is spinning around, when you get a red sphere, it's just kind of your consciousness is like being sapped away.
Yeah, that's what it looks like when you die in Sonic, but because you're from like you're not in first person, but you're in third person, so you kind of see what Sonic sees when he passes. Yeah, yep.
Every time you lose blue sphere, you're not the same Sonic.
Oh god. Extra dimensional travel is weird, man. The blue sphere zone is hell. Like literally, it's actually hell.
Yeah, and there's like 40 of them in Sonic Mania. It's crazy.
Oh my god, you have to go save all the blue. You have to go save all those souls. Oh. All right.
But what does it say about our society that when you encircle them, they become currency?
Look, I know a man who would like to make a particular deal with you. They call him Lucifer. Yeah.
Cousin Lou.
Yeah, Cousin Lou. You create the ancient ritual where you walk through a square of blue spheres and transport all of the spheres in the circle to the devil, and in exchange he gives you rings.
Oh my god, that's F.
Yeah. Oh, this is not going where I thought it would tonight. Oh, man, Sonic. You know, for trying to save all those blues, or maybe he's not trying to save them. Maybe he's just absorbing them. Who knows? Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Yep. All right. Where even was I? Man.
You said blue spheres, and then I interjected.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what I remember.
I wish we had one of those blue spheres right now. It's the only thing that would save him. I agreed. We don't even have a med kit. At least I can make him comfortable. I looked her in the eye. He told us what we need to know, I said. That's the important thing. I felt professional. I felt several degrees colder than mean. But Arlene was as much a pro as I. Do you want to perform the coup de grace on this energy conduit, or shall I? Well, I thought about it. She made up my mind for me. You'd better do it, Fly. We need a real sharpshooter's eye to keep those bastards far enough away that they can't reach and grab us. I suppose even you can't miss a computer bank from 2 meters away, hey? Even if you can't shoot an apple off Goforth's head. She grinned. I turned and became a one-man wrecking crew. Raising the BFG, I took a deep breath and let fly at the collection of electronics. The explosion knocked me on my butt. I staggered and took out the rest of the targets Rich pointed out in the mass of equipment. After 4 walloping shots, the BFG fizzled and wouldn't shoot any more. Out of juice. I finished the job with 12 shotgun shells. Jesus, Fly! Come look at this! Arlene shouted. I came, still shaking, ears still ringing like Christmas. This was turning into an hour of surprises. The monsters were acting like they were on PCP, wandering in circles and firing at anything that moved, which meant each other. The spider mind still seemed to have control over its ugly faculties. It opened fire on several of the Hell Princes, no doubt with the idea of removing those of its minions most potentially dangerous if there were no way to give them orders. Naturally, the executions drew the attention of the other monsters. They fired at the noise. We weren't cast members in that show, but we took full advantage of our backstage passes. 15 minutes later, there was one monster, count 'em, one monster left that we could see. For the moment, the Spider-Mind boss was over itself. It had one other problem besides not being able to get any decent help. The gun cylinder spun. Empty.
Oh.
The spider hadn't saved any ammo for us.
What an idiot.
Oh my god. He killed all of his own monsters and ran out of ammo. Dude.
What a jerk.
This is... Okay, so I think this is a good time to bring forth my theory about the spider mastermind.
Hold on, before that, I want to bring up, what does my ears are ringing like Christmas mean?
Jingle bells?
I'll
That's
accept
my
that
best
for now,
thought.
but please go continue.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I just think holiday bells. That's my best guess.
I think David Hughes wanted to say something that sounded like something, but actually wasn't.
Yeah, that's pretty common in this book, turns out. You'd be surprised. Well, maybe you wouldn't. So, yeah, my thought is that UAC enslaved workers were forced to build the Spider Mastermind's torso thing,
Oh.
its legs and such, right?
Okay, I see.
But it doesn't really fully comprehend the implications of it. It just knows that it wanted that and that's good and it can kill with it. It doesn't have a concept of ammunition.
I see. Okay.
So, yeah. And so it's actually incredible. It may be an incredibly deep sentience, but it just learned how to walk on its mechanical spider legs and it doesn't know how guns work very good.
Right. Another thing I wanted to bring up, I love how the first bit of psychological torture Doom Guy receives is this his dad embarrassing him at Hawaii. Like that's just,
I didn't actually stop to think about it, but like
a repressed memory Doom Guy has in his mind.
you know, and his dad's like shouting Kamehameha and look, I did it. You see what I did? And I can just think of him like flashing everybody in the museum. Like just dropping his pants and like, oh God, no, Dad, no. And he starts running away, but his dad's chasing him with his pants around his ankles.
Oh God.
Like, that's not my dad, no. And then the camera zooms out and it was looking into Flynn Taggart's eye as he's sprinting. That was the dramatic, horrible, repressed memory he had. Oh. Yeah, he's also running around shouting Kamehameha. Man, for all we know, fucking Flynn Taggart's dad was fucking Master Roshi, the perverted old dude from Dragon Ball.
I have no recollection.
Who's a hermit on an island out in the tropics. Oh my God.
I haven't watched any Dragon Ball anything since like the 4th grade, so I have no idea.
Tell you what, I would totally believe it at this point. Oh my God. Okay. Well, yeah, and he's even got the way he even talks. And Master Roshi is the master of the Kamehameha wave. Oh my God.
Oh, what the heck's going on here?
Flynn Taggart's dad is an anime. Is a perverted old anime man.
Doom Guy's one true shame. His dad's an anime.
A perverted anime who flashes women at museums. God. It's no wonder he lives on an island by himself. He was exiled by society. Jesus.
What an idiot.
Oh. This is inane. God. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Let's go find where the Spider Mastermind ran out of ammo. Full advantage. Here we go. 15 minutes later. For the moment, the Spider Mind was boss over itself. And it had one other problem. Oh yeah. The gun cylinder spun empty. The spider hadn't saved any ammo for us. Rich, Arlene said, speaking quietly but enunciating clearly. Your plan worked brilliantly. I'm sure he would have appreciated her good opinion of him, if he had still been alive. The damned stupid Spiny had killed him after all. I stared at the dead face of Bill Rich, captivity and torture survivor, comrade, the man who gave us a real chance to defeat the alien invaders.
Guy who appeared for 3 chapters. Got an antique revolver, killed like 10 zombies, and was notable for making one of the worst jokes in the whole book, now that I think about it. I don't even remember it.
That's how bad it was. I think the only kind of prints we're going to find there are footprints. Yeah. Oh, and also called the aliens goblins.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck it. Of all the things and all the debates over the years of whether the Doom demons are aliens, this guy shows up and calls them fucking goblins. Fuck.
Ode to Bill Rich.
You sure showed him who was boss. You ran against the grain. You were a contrarian to the end. Anyways, I looked at this brand new corpse and something snapped. I'm sick of this, I told Arlene. I shrugged off my beloved rocket launcher and handed it to my best pal. Keep an eye on me, first class. You'll know when to use it. And don't, god damn it, miss. Show me the apple, Flynn Taggart, and I'll pop it off your head. I loaded up my shotgun, for attention-grabbing purposes only, and calmly walked out to face the ugliest alien of them all. Hey, spider baby! I called.
It's down to you and me, you one-eyed freak.
That's the best you got, Flynn? Dude.
Hey, arachnid breath!
You're about to go...
Turn around!
You're about to go... Oh yeah, let's not forget that Rich called it a cyber dude. Double fuck you, Rich.
Okay, I wanted... I made it a point to say that maybe we can make the Steam Demon a thing in our thing, but definitely not the cyber dude.
Yeah, you know what? I already know what cyberdude.wad is gonna be. In fact, I'm gonna write that down right now.
All right. Sounds good.
Perfect. Got it. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Groovy.
Yeah. So, back to Flynn Taggart, continuing to prove that he is just one of the strangest and stupidest human beings alive. Hey, spider baby, I called out. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The turret turned. Spider-Mind and I looked at each other. And suddenly I was overwhelmed with the most horrific vision of all. I saw the earth in flames, burning buildings, fields, oceans of corpses. I saw the demons, not just aliens, but honest to Lucifer demons, wading through the rivers of filth and blood and urine, laughing in triumph. I saw mankind under the heel, collars around our throats, chains on our wrists and ankles. I saw collaborators, traitors, quislings, turncoats of every race and culture. I saw a Vichy Earth government, and I saw in the distance an endless parade of bigger and more ghastly demons. They filled the land from end to end, sea to shining sea. And I knew this vision was no nightmare plucked from my own subconscious fears. This was reality. I saw the future. I leaned forward and spat upon the shredded machine mind. Remember the imp you had talk to me back on Phobos? That creepy Leatherface asked for my surrender. Well, here's my answer, you insect. Raising my shotgun.
On. Plot hole. Spiders are not insects.
Are you? I give up. I'm done. You can read the rest of the book, viewers. Good night. No, I'm kidding. Alright. Raising my shotgun, I took careful aim and blasted toward the brain inside the crystal case. Crystal case? What?
When did that come in?
Is this the right game? Okay, well, apparently, imagine the spider mastermind, her during like a revenant around with 2 Vulcan Gatling guns on it, and like a giant goldfish bowl over its brain.
It's becoming more like an Earthworm Jim villain now.
Oh my god. Earthworm Jim or Earthworm Flynn?
Oh!
The truth has been revealed.
It's out there and we found it.
Oh yeah, there it is. The truth is out there, man. Then I blasted the brain inside the crystal case, and then I did it again, and again, and again. I stopped at 8 shots because I'd run out of shells, and because the turret had finally rotated in my direction and was chewing up the deck plates with 30mm rounds. Wait, I thought it was... I slalomed through the heaped corpses, looking for one in particular. One body not dead, but pre-born, as my nuns would say, though in a hell of a different context. I was looking for my steam demon, and that had to be a first. The spider mine scuttled after me. On open ground it could make quite a clip, quite a bit faster than a mere two-legger like me. But we weren't on open ground. I chose my route well. I leapt from body to body like Eliza across the ice floes, and then, frustrated arachnoid android started shooting the corpses out of the way for clearer footing.
I thought it was out of
Okay,
ammo.
so I see it has a massive Vulcan cannon. Well, sorry, it has a massive Ultra Gatling gun, and then 2 Vulcan cannons, 2 smaller guns on it.
All right.
So it has like 2 30mm machine guns and then a giant Gatling gun, which it was using to shred everything. And it ran out of ammo on that one.
All right.
Yep. So it's shooting Flynn with machine guns. Anyways, I put some distance between us, and for a moment the stupid thing lost me. Great. I should have brought an air horn. Thank you. Crouching so I wouldn't get clopped by a stray, I loaded up, stood, and fired a few more shells. It spotted me, screamed in triumph, just like you'd expect an insect to sound.
Not an insect.
Magnified a billion times, ow, and charged, Gatling barrel spinning like gyroscopes. I ran the 100 in a world record time. I flung myself through the air in a graceful swan dive, tucked at the last second, and rolled beautifully, dislocating my shoulder. I struggled up, shifted the shotgun to my right, weak hand, reached over the steam demon, and let fly with the last shell. My cough was answered by a diarrhea of Vulcan cannon rounds that...
All right. You're just being gross for the sake of it.
I kind of like that choice of words, to be honest. That's
Bullet
quite
diarrhea.
Yeah, instead of a bullet hose, it's bullet diarrhea.
Well, it's because it's an uncontrollable wild stream.
Yep. That tore up the iron flesh of the steam demon like an AB-10 tears up plaster. The bullets ripped the legs apart. They ripped the head apart. They ripped the missiles apart. I clenched my teeth. Now is the moment of truth. If they'd already attached those warheads, well, I guess I'd either go north and meet the nuns, or stay right where I was, in hell. 15 seconds and 750 rounds later, sudden silence startled me back to the here and now. My ears throbbed and rang, and my skull felt like it was still vibrating. The spider mine had stopped shooting to see what damage it had done. I wasn't about to stick my head up, but I didn't need to. I closed my eyes and sniffed deeply.
Uh-oh.
Sour lemons. No, I'm kidding.
Oh. I really thought there. You got me.
Yes! I really wish that was the next line, though. There is a smell most people don't know. Is it sour lemons, Flynn? Is that the smell? But once you've tasted it, you never forget it. God damn it, it's so hard not to just blurt it out. Anyone who's hung around a Marine air base or naval air station remembers, and pilots remember from the airport, It's the pungent aroma of JP9 jet propellant, and it tears through your septum, up your nasal passages, and straight into your brain. Think of ammonia, formaldehyde, and skunk juice swirled together into a malt. Ew.
Malt.
There is no possibility of error. Dozens of gallons of the burn juice pooled around the steam demon. In fact, looking down, I saw it seeping from under the body onto my side, eating away at my boots worse than the green sludge. My bruised eardrums were trying to tell me something urgent, a sound behind the ringing and throbbing, clicking feet. The spider mind was on its way to investigate. I backed slowly away, crouching lower and lower to stay behind the steam demon. Then the spider mind loomed and I could no longer hide. It screamed again, this time in rage, not triumph, and charged. It slipped in the feel slick that it itself had created.
Oh my god.
Oh, this thing is so clumsy.
Worst final boss ever.
Just, and then it like just banana peel everywhere. God.
Someone has to make this the real final boss of Doom.
Slip and slide, not wad. It's not what you think. Ooh. Okay. It tried to rise and slipped again, skating Yes, really.
Oh god. What an idiot.
JP9 dripped from the spider mind's underbelly, splashed up and down its legs, even sprayed across the crystal canopy. Time to split that apple, AS. I dashed to the side, waving frantically at the building. I couldn't see Arlene. I pointed at the spider mind, screaming, "Now! Now! You crazy bitch!" She couldn't hear me, of course, or I never would have said such a thing. A tiny bud of red bloomed in the black doorway, flowering into the bright red tail exhaust of our very last rocket. I hit the deck, hands overhead, belatedly wondering whether any of the jet propellant had sprayed on me. I barely heard the explosion through the ringing, but the force kicked me in my dislocated shoulder. After a moment with my eyes shut, arms locked over my head, I ventured a glance. The spider mind screeched and skittered, joyously engulfed in bright white flames, like one of Weem's monks protesting the war in Kafiristan by immolating himself with burning gasoline. Wow. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
that
was
happened
a long
at the
time
beginning
ago.
of the book.
Yeah. It's a deep callback.
Dang. I watched for several minutes, keeping low as the last of the spider mind's ammo exploded, bursting off in all directions. Mobility lasted only half a minute. Then the intense heat melted the crystal canopy, turning the truck-sized brain into a crispy critter in seconds. It took longer for the metal body to liquefy, even longer for the whole mass to bubble through the melted deck plates. At last, there was nothing left of the dreaded spider mind but a smoking crater. "Get used to it," I muttered, unable to even hear my own voice. "Think of this as rehearsal for the next eternity." A hand grabbed my arm, my left arm. "No!" I screamed. Then I screamed again as Arlene yanked on my dislocated shoulder. "Jesus, Fly, I'm sorry," I faintly heard her voice, as if through a speakerphone across the room. I rolled onto my back, swearing like a drunken longshoreman. "Oh," she said. "I see what it is. Hang on, Fly. This is going to hurt, but you'll thank me for it in a minute." Would you believe she grabbed my biceps, pulled my arm out of the socket, and snapped it back into place? I passed out. I came to in a few seconds, then cursed her out again, sorting the epithets alphabetically in case I missed any. I passed through the scatological and had started on the blasphemous when she shut me by planting a big, wet boot heel on my mouth. She sat me up then. My ears were starting to recover, and I could hear what she said. "Pretty spectacular, Fly. I guess we won. Rich would have loved this spread now." Huh? But this still but still I heard the hum of power. The lights remained lit. Something was wrong with this picture. "I hope you won't take this wrong," said Arlene, staring curiously around. "But why are we plunged into terrible darkness, Fly Taggart?" "I know what you mean, AS. We can't feel total satisfaction until we're freezing to death in the black night of space. And running out of air. So what's gone wrong with Bill Rich's plan?" She frowned in thought. "I guess that building didn't house the power receiver after all," she said. "It must have been the communications gear receiver, which the communications gear by which the spider mind was controlling creatures." "You mean, all the creatures left on Deimos and Phobos will destroy one another like these guys did?" I smiled. I liked that thought. "The spider mind was barely able to control them as it was," she pointed out. "They have a natural hatred for each other." I remembered the crucified Hell Princes. Then I remembered Bill dying from the stupid blast from a stupid imp. Now he was gone. Focus, Fly. Focus. We went back in the control room and I threw a piece of canvas over Rich. We laid his body out in the place that was the most appropriate crypt, the scene of his victory over the demons. "All right," I said. "I think we should retrace our steps back to the surface of Deimos. Bleh. Maybe we can figure out how to get back to Mars from there, or at least figure out where in hell we are." "Watch your language," said Arlene seriously. Arlene Sanders, with religion. As we worked our way back up through the levels of Deimos, we found the dead bodies of hundreds, then thousands, of the alien monsters. It was as if the Cosmic Orkin Company had come through and done a big special on demonic infestation. There were very few live ones, so completely out of it that they were hardly worth killing. Somehow, Arlene and I found the will to exterminate them anyway. When we reached the surface, we discovered the pressure dome was cracked, the air rushing out, creating a mini hurricane. Of course, we had been adequately briefed on the basics of life in space. It would take days for all the air to escape. We weren't planning to wait around that long. I looked past the crack and stopped breathing. I stared so long, forgetting to blink, that my eyes blurred. I wasn't staring at Mars anymore. Where Mars had loomed, hanging over our heads like a wrecking ball, was a different planet, one that looked disturbingly familiar. Blue-green, familiar landmasses, cloud cover, teeming with 6 billion cousins and uncles. We weren't in a hyperspace tunnel any longer. We looked for several minutes, hoping it was a shared hallucination. At last, Arlene said, "I guess we know their invasion plans now." As I stared at Earth and the skies of Deimos, through a cracked and broken pressure dome, I felt a queer sense of dislocation, as if I were no longer sitting inside my own body, but standing alongside. I shook as if I had a terrible fever, mindlessly clutching at my uniform. Beam's uniform. "Well," I began feebly, "at least we stopped them." "Did we?" She reached out, as if trying to pet the planet. Beyond the domes, amid the bright flecked black of space, other bright spots flared up on the continents, shining through the scattered clouds. Nuclear explosions would look just like that. Other things, worse things, could look like that as well. "Jesus, they've already invaded," Arlene said, hope draining away from her voice faster than the escaping air. I took her by the arm and said, "It's not over, Arlene. We've already proven who's tougher. We won't let it end like this." But we had no ship, no radio, not even really a long rope.
Well,
Well, that's a hell of a thought, sure. We were stuck in low orbit around Earth, a mere 400 kilometers away, hanging over our heads like the biggest balloon we could ever hope to play with. I shut my eyes tight, then opened them. How would we do the impossible? How could we jump 400 kilometers to Earth and kill the orbital velocity? We didn't say anything for a very long time. We watched the white spots appearing over the northern hemisphere, over the hot blue oceans and cool green hills of Earth. Suddenly, Arlene gasped, her eyes wide open. "Fly, I have it!" "What?" "I know how to do it!" "Do what, damn it?" Her lips moved, silently calculating. Then she grinned. "I know how to get us across to Earth, Fly." And that's it.
Well, that's the end?
According to my copy.
Oh, I know how to get us
The
across
end.
to Earth, Fly. The end. Wow.
Well, what do you know? And just like that, it's over.
Well, what the heck?
Oh, somebody in the chat says that you must be a good friend being able to put up with this.
Put up with what?
I think they're confused as to what's going on.
Oh.
We have mutually, willingly decided to subjugate ourselves to the Doom novella. This is not a torture experiment for either of us.
This was all my idea.
Yep. Haha, surprise.
That's the big
It was
twist.
a ruse all along.
If we were feeling really bold, we could move on to PlayStation Doom and start Hell on Earth, but I don't know.
It's 11:30, and I kind of want to work on Audacity.wad.
All right, then that's the end.
Yep. My voice is also kind of shot.
Yeah, that's
so.
fair. You've done a lot of reading.
Yeah. Good reading, though.
Yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied with that.
Oh, God. Doom Guy and his crazy dad.
Friggin' Doom Guy.
Well, at least it'll be appropriate when we start the novel, because we'll be on Doom 2 in the PlayStation version.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, man. That's pretty perfect, actually.
Now I can get this book off my desk. It's been there for like a year now. All right. I think that's it, unless you got anything else you want to add.
I'm tired.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Yep. This will be exported to YouTube for posterity.
Yep. And perhaps next time we'll try and start a little earlier. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Peace out.
Yep. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you next time.